I was looking for a job, preferably for a private caregiver. When I saw the ad online, it seemed perfect. Elderly woman in need of assistance with daily activities. Live-in preferred. The address was close to the city, and the number belonged to a woman named Mrs. Clay. I called her that same afternoon. Her voice was shaky but polite. She said her daughter had moved abroad and she needed help. She asked if I could come by the next morning. I didn't think twice. Her voice made me trust her, the way old ladies sound when they've been alone for too long. The next day I took the first bus and arrived around 9 a.m. The neighborhood looked quiet, too quiet. No traffic, no kids, not even dogs barking. The house was at the end of a dead-end street, old and half-painted. When she opened the door, she looked just like I expected. Fragile, pale, thin. She smiled with missing teeth and waved me in. The living room smelled like medicine and wet carpet. She said her knees hurt too much to move around, so she needed help cooking and cleaning. She offered me tea. I said yes. I shouldn't have. She went to the kitchen and I sat at the table waiting. My bag was next to my chair, still zipped. I remember that clearly. I heard cups clinking, water boiling, then footsteps that weren't hers. Heavier, steady. When I turned around, a man stepped out from behind the hallway. His face was dirty, his eyes cold and wide. Before I could even speak, he swung something, maybe a pipe, against the side of my head. I fell. Everything went black for a second. I remember the taste of blood in my mouth and the woman's voice screaming something, but it was distant. Then he grabbed my arms and dragged me across the floor. My vision kept fading in and out. I couldn't fight back, not even scream. When I woke up, I was in the back seat of a car. My wrists were tied. The woman was gone. The man was driving fast. Trees blurred through the window, no buildings, no traffic, just endless road. I asked him where he was taking me. He didn't answer. I kicked the door, but it didn't move. He looked at me through the mirror once. I'll never forget that look. He didn't blink. After what felt like hours, the car stopped. He pulled me out, still tied, and carried me into another house. This one smelled like rot. He threw me down a short flight of stairs. My shoulder hit the floor hard. I couldn't see much, only a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling, flickering every few seconds. The walls were concrete, stained and wet. There was a mattress on the floor, dirty and torn. He would come down every few hours, sometimes to throw food, sometimes to stare at me. Once he asked if I had family. I said yes. He smiled and said, "Good." Then he left. At night, I heard other voices. One of them was younger, maybe another man. They whispered upstairs, arguing, laughing. Sometimes I heard a door slam. Once I heard someone crying. I never saw who it was. One night, he came down carrying a flashlight and a bucket of water. He made me wash myself while he stood watching. I tried to look away, but he grabbed my hair and forced my face into the water. He said I should be grateful. When I coughed and gasped, he smiled. Then he left again. Days passed. My wrists were swollen from the rope. I started to realize there was no escape. Until one morning, I noticed the basement door wasn't locked. It was early. I could hear them arguing upstairs. I moved quietly, untied my ankles using a sharp piece of metal from the bed frame. My hands hurt so much I almost fainted, but I kept going. I pushed the door slowly. It opened with a creak. I froze, waiting for footsteps. None came. I climbed the stairs step by step. The kitchen was empty. The window above the sink was open. I could smell fresh air for the first time in days. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like my chest would explode. I went to the back door. It wasn't locked either. I pushed it open and ran. Outside there was nothing. No houses, no people, just open fields and dirt roads. The air was hot, dry. I kept running until I couldn't breathe. I saw a line of trees and thought maybe there was a road behind them. When I reached them, I looked back. The house was far, small in the distance. I thought I'd made it. Then I heard the sound of a car engine. The car came fast, kicking up dust. I tried to hide behind the trees, but he saw me. He got out of the car and started walking toward me with a crowbar in his hand. I ran again, but he caught up. He hit my back first, then my legs. I fell face first into the dirt. I screamed, but no one could hear. He didn't say a word while hitting me. When I stopped moving, he crouched down next to me and said I ruined everything. I didn't understand what he meant. He dragged me back to the car by my hair and threw me inside. My vision kept fading again. Back in the basement, he tied me to a pole. No food that day, no water. The next morning, he came in with another man, older, with gloves on. They whispered things I couldn't hear. The older man stared at me for a long time and said I should have stayed quiet. They left me there again. That night, I heard them laughing upstairs. I heard bottles breaking, music playing faintly. I stayed awake until morning, shaking. When he came down again, I expected another beating. Instead, he sat on the floor next to me. He didn't look angry anymore. He looked tired. He said someone had paid for me. I didn't understand at first. Paid for what? He said it was for my release. That I shouldn't have seen the house because now they couldn't just let me go. He put a gun to my head. I froze. I didn't cry or beg, I just waited for it to end. But he didn't pull the trigger. He lowered it slowly. He said he wasn't a killer, that another man would have done it without thinking. Then he leaned closer and whispered, "If someone comes knocking at my door, I'm gonna regret letting you live. If that happens, someone will knock your door. And you know what? They are not going to doubt, understand?" He drove me out that night. My hands were still tied and my eyes blindfolded. We didn't talk. I didn't even know what direction we were going. After maybe an hour, he stopped the car on the side of a long, empty road. He got out, opened my door, untied my hands, and pushed me out. Then he drove away. I lay there for a while staring at the stars. I could barely move. My body hurt everywhere, but I got up and started walking. I don't know how long it took, but eventually I saw lights. A gas station, maybe 2 kilometers away. The police found me sitting on the ground near the station. I couldn't even explain what happened at first. They said I was in shock. They took me to the hospital, asked questions I couldn't answer. Where the house was, how many men there were, what they looked like. I didn't know. Everything was a blur. Today I remember a little more, but even so, I won't tell the police anything about what I experienced. It's not worth it. I don't want to risk my family's life. This story is based on John Edward Robinson, known as the internet's first serial killer, who was an American murderer active between the 1980s and 2000. He lured victims using fake job offers, personal ads, and online chat rooms, often promising work or companionship. Once he gained their trust, he manipulated, exploited, and ultimately killed them. Police discovered several of his victims' bodies stored in barrels on his property. Robinson was arrested in 2000 and later sentenced to death for multiple murders, marking one of the earliest known cases of using the internet to commit serial crimes.